Welcome to the Ascend Your Success podcast. Whether you're just starting out or are a veteran looking to grow your business, you're in the right place. Join us to learn how to achieve financial freedom while working and living life on your own terms. Hear valuable insights, strategies, and interviews with successful entrepreneurs. Get ready to achieve the success you've always dreamed of. Ready? Let's go.
What's going on, guys? My name is Wyatt Reed, and this is the Ascend Your Success podcast. And today I get to interview my friend, Zach Fogg. How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Trying to stay warm. This is like our last warm week of the year, I feel like.
I know.
But so let's before we get into this, I just wanted to introduce you a little bit. We met at an event that I was hosting, and we kind of hit it off there a little bit, talked a little bit afterwards, and then ended up getting lunch. And we've been friends ever since. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you were in the military and everything, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yep, in the service. So I joined right out of high school.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, Philip's a good dude. You actually introduced us, and we've had several conversations since. So he's a realtor, and his wife's a realtor as well, right? He does investing and stuff like that. So he's definitely a good resource, smart dude, and he likes cars. So well, cool. So did you start investing like while you were in, or did you get out and was like, hey, here's what we're gonna do? Was there kind of a transition period? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think house hacking is definitely a great way to get started with very little money. If you're listening to that and you don't know what the house hacking method is, I mean, you can obviously go on YouTube and type it in and learn more about it, but you essentially buy a house, live in it for 2 years, 3 years, whatever those qualifications are to be able to get out of it and get into another loan without having to or having to, refinance it or whatever, and then go into the next house. And that's how you build up a rental portfolio doing it that way. I'll say, obviously, like what you were saying, it gets harder with kids. It's harder with families, it's harder with properties that need a lot of work, right? Because it's fine if it's just you and you're doing the work, but you had a wife and a kids and all that, the puppy and everything. It gets harder and harder and harder. And it's a little bit slower, it's 2-3 years before you can do the next one, right? And so that's why I think learning that BRRRR strategy is so important. So when you guys started using the BRRRR method, you had enough equity in the other 2 or 3 properties that you had already had over the course of those years that had equity that you could start buying more properties, right? You guys didn't have to use private or hard money, or did you use private hard money for it? Yeah, yeah. I think I was blessed because it sounds to me like you figured all this out on your own, and I'm not saying that I didn't figure out some hard lessons along the way, but when I was first getting started, I hired a mentor who kind of told me all of these things, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do this, but I do want to do that, and I see people come to me all the time and say, well, I'd rather wholesale because that's going to help me get the money up to be able to buy my first investment property, my first rental property, right? And I always tell people, well, you don't know what you don't know. You have these people called hard money, private money lenders, where they'll give you the money based on the deal, more along the lines of the deal instead of your own personal, information and stuff like that. And you can get in and out of these properties 100% with other people's money as long as the deal's right. Yeah, I think we were blessed in that, but also at the same time, it kind of gave us a big hit when we first got started, and we got rocking and rolling, doing multiple deals a month, and then we hit this wall, and we had to pivot and figure out what the heck. We took on all these properties, all this debt, and now we had to pivot and do something else because of an issue that had come up. Right, so having a mentor is not going to stop you from running into problems, right? But you will have a lot more information than just trying to figure it out yourself, right? So I know you had Phil that was helping you out, and did you have anybody else back then that was kind of giving you guidance? Right. Yeah, 100%. So we're coming up quick on time, and I joke, but me and you can talk forever. We could probably have this podcast for a few hours. But you've hit a point, and me and you've talked about this before. You've hit a point to where the single family game is not as intriguing anymore as it was when we were first getting started, right? And we feel that way too. As far as the rentals, being a landlord sucks. Flipping and dealing with contractors sucks, and so that's why we kind of started moving into the seller financing model. But I guess, what did that, in your mind, when did you hit that thought and say, hey, I don't really want to do these single family homes anymore? I will if I need to, but I'm going to start looking at these other things. And what did you start doing to transition into that? Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And I tell people this all the time. Like we have built our portfolio and we have transitioned most of our rentals. We probably have a handful of rentals left, but everything else is seller finance. That way they're paying a mortgage, they're paying insurance, taxes. We are more of the bank than we are the landlord. And there are pros and cons to that too. It's just a strategy, right? It's just how do you want to build your business based on the way that you want to live your life, right? And so, but I agree, after COVID, after that 2019 was crazy. You know, we were getting $20,000-$30,000 over ask price for everything we had, and now you're like scrapping for properties, and interest rates are up and then they're down, and then it's just crazy. So it is hard, it is tough, but I would just say, find something that makes sense to you, that you can consistently do and do it, right? Don't try to be doing everything all at once, just like what you were saying. Like, find that one thing. We didn't like being landlords, so we pivoted into flipping. We got up to a pretty huge flipping business and then decided this isn't what we want because it sucks, And so then we started seller financing, and that was it for us. That was our thing. And so that was it. So yeah, I mean, that's great. As far as most of the people that are going to be listening to this are going to be brand new people that are looking to get into investing, or just putting their foot in. Like, what kind of advice would you give somebody that's doing that? Yeah. Yeah, I've never heard anybody say, "Man, I wish I would have started later." And it's funny that you say that, because like I remember when my net worth, like when I was working a job, my net worth was probably negative $300,000 because I had all liabilities and no assets, right? And so I remember when my net worth hit over $1 million, and I told my dad, I was joking with him, I was like, I look real good on paper, but I'm broke, So it was crazy. But yeah, I wish somebody would have told me that too, So, well, how can people follow you? How can they see what you're doing? Because you guys are doing a lot, and y'all put out a lot of good content as far as helping others, being a big part of the community here in North Alabama. So, how can we do that? All right, guys. Well, hey, if you heard something that you liked and you thought, man, I'd like to learn more about the BRRRR method, more about hard money, private money, or anything that we talked about and discussed about getting your first cash flowing property, then go to ascendyoursuccess.com, fill out the form, and you'll talk directly to me. And we'll go through your goals and talk about what you need to be doing and see if you're a good fit for our community and we're a good fit for you. And so we'll see you guys on the next one.